What's up, guys? It's Finn Aiden here, back again on the channel. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different than I normally do. I'm going to be going over what my top 10 most favorite Marvel Legends from 2016 are. But before we get into my honorable mentions, which are the figures you see before you, and then my top 10 list, I thought I'd set some ground rules. Number 1, the figure had to come out in 2016. It couldn't come out last year or the year before, had to come out this year. Number 2, they have to be figures I personally acquired through either gifts or me buying them personally. They have to be figures that I actually own. And number 3, this is only 6-inch Marvel Legends. This is not the 12-inch, which I do own a 12-inch Captain America. This isn't Captain America's Marvel Legends Shield. This isn't any of that stuff. It's only 6-inch figures. So the figures you see before you are great figures that I've had a lot of fun posing. They just have at least one thing that knocks them down. For example, the Beetle, we need to get more shoulder articulation and more arm articulation on these female figures. Like, there's one female figure on my top 10 list, but it's more about the character than the actual figure. While this one, I don't like the character as much as the other figure, but I like the use of the wings and how they expanded on Wasp's technology for the wings. The Iron Man from the 3-pack right here, I think that they took the crappy normal figure and made him better with a new coat of paint and putting some extra detail with the marks on it, the battle damage. The only problem I really have with it is the hip articulation, which I can barely get him into good poses because every time I try to move them, they just go right back to the center. So that knocks him down onto the honorable mentions. So from the honorable mentions, we will get right into my number 10. So my number 10 is the infamously hard to find at one point, Spider-Gwen. I hunted for this figure for months on end. And when I finally got her, I was very, very happy with it. I actually really like this figure. A couple hang-ups with it, again, but it's not really just Spider-Gwen's fault. It's with all the female figures, just the shoulder and arm articulation just is not there yet. But honestly, the paint detail and the eyes and the inside of the hood, the sculpting in there is just crazy good. My number 9 favorite Marvel Legend of 2016 has got to be the Taskmaster from the Red Onslaught wave. This figure was also kind of hard for me to find. I did not find it, a friend found it for me, but I really love this figure. The head sculpt and how we get 2 interchangeable heads are fantastic, just like his overall like metallic cheek that he has going on through his armor is amazing. The articulation's off the chain. It's fantastic. You might notice that some accessories like the gun straps on his shoulders are missing. Those are being currently used on my also Red Onslaught Captain America. So I have those on his shoulders, and I normally use the Vision's white cape for this Taskmaster. Overall, a great figure, and every single figure on this list is definitely 100% worth the buy. This one is no exception. Okay, people, don't freak out at me that Deadpool's only number 8 on this list. Don't kill me, I'm sorry. As much as I like this figure, I'm not a huge fan of the character of Deadpool, so I just could not put him up there with some of my favorite characters of all time. But this figure is a very good figure. Like the articulation, the amount of accessories, the attention to detail with the sculpt. Everything about it is great. Like, if you're a huge Deadpool fan, this is a must-have figure for you. I'm just not the biggest Deadpool guy, so it just can't rank as high on my list. But the figure itself is actually a really great figure, and I really like it. Number 7 on my list is the Great Venom from the Absorbing Man wave. This figure is so great, with all the amount of accessories it comes with, the interchangeable hands and the interchangeable heads, so you can get 2 different, like, looks to Venom from art styles. His overall bulk and everything, like, this figure is, like, pretty hefty, like, when it comes to a Marvel Legend, and he does not disappoint. If you're looking for a definitive Venom for your collectors, this is definitely the Marvel Legend Venom for you. You can get a retail price. He is a great figure. The number 6 favorite Marvel Legend on my list is the Civil War box set Spider-Man Homecoming Spider-Man movie figure. This figure is awesome, and if he had 2 things, this figure would probably be in my top 3, if not my number 2 spot. There are only 2 small problems I have with this figure. 1, his lack of interchangeable hands, and 2, this is probably the smallest, his head looks a little just too oval to me. You know what I mean? Like, for Spider-Man, I expect his head to be a little bit, this doesn't even look like a normal head to me. Like, I think it should be a little bit more round, and his eyes should be a little bit bigger compared to, like, the pictures and what we saw in Civil War, but overall, the detail and sculpt with the webs on his suit is just stunning, and the amount of poses you can get this guy into is so much fun. His fun factor is through the roof, and I love this figure. Here we are in the top 5 For number 5, we have the Marvel Civil War Wave Nuke figure, and this figure is so much fun. It's not even the fact that it is a great figure, don't get me wrong. It's not even the fact that it's so great, it's just so much fun to play around with. Like the paint and stuff on his eyes and his face, where the sculpts right there, where it turns into you see his metal face, insane. Some of the best Marvel Legends sculpting I think we've ever gotten from Hasbro. Just fantastic. This figure is so much fun to pose from its accessories. It's just, I've had so much more fun posing this figure than any of the ones previously mentioned on this list, and it is definitely one of my favorite ones to play around with. The number 4 favorite Marvel Legend on my list is the Civil War Wave Black Panther. This figure is incredible. Just, this could almost be import level. The amount of sculpting and detailing on this figure is just crazy. I didn't get this figure till like late November, because I still have never been able to find it in stores, not once. I know some people have found tons of them. I've never found this figure in stores. The only reason I got it is because it was like $11 on Walmart.com, and I just picked it up at the store from there, and I am so happy with it. It is so amazing, and the fact that I still have never found it in stores kind of shows you how good this figure is, because everybody wants it. I found more Deadpools than I have Black Panthers, which honestly is crazy to me. This figure is so great, and you are missing out if you don't have it in your collection. Number 3 is the Marvel Legends Iron Fist. This is the only figure I've gotten from the Doctor Strange wave so far, as I have not been able to get the money recently to be able to buy some new Legends, because money's been tight, been saving and stuff. But this Marvel Legends Iron Fist was it had to be a buy. This figure is so incredibly awesome. It's not even that it's so detailed with sculpt, it's a pretty normal buck. It's just the attention to detail on his interchangeable hands and his face sculpt. The amount of fun poses you can get this guy into with his balance and just his interchangeable hands, it's crazy. It does for such great articulated comic book art. I've used this guy so much. So great, so awesome. Definitely worth the $20. My number 2 favorite Marvel Legend is definitely one of my favorite Marvel Legends now of all time, is the Miles Morales Spider-Man figure that just came out this year. I cannot put this figure down. I cannot find a place to put it because how much I play with this figure and the number 1 figure. They're just such fun factor. This body mold, I still have not gotten the Ultimate Spider-Man, but this Spider-Man, the body mold just complements like the colors and the character so perfectly. The interchangeable hands, the paint detail, he just looks so simple, but he's so much fun, so posable, and he has such great balance, such great detail on him. Like, it's such a simple design, but they do it so they don't have any splotches anywhere. A fantastic figure. I cannot put it down. Like, I am taking pictures of this every time I go to do a photo shoot. This figure is always at the top of my pile. I have taken hundreds of photos of this figure that I haven't even posted yet. An amazing figure. And the number 1 favorite Marvel Legend of 2016 is Speed Demon. Just kidding. Get this crap out of here. The new Wolverine from the X-Men wave. This figure is amazingly perfect. Like, the only thing I can possibly think of is maybe a little bit of shadowing or some hair on the arms, but overall this figure is so perfect. I can't get over how good this figure is. They nailed the buck. I didn't think they'd be able to do. This is my first actual Wolverine figure for Marvel Legends, and I love it so much. Just the way they use the shoulder joints and stuff to make the buck look natural, but also super articulated. His height is perfect, his paint is perfect, his head sculpt is great. The amount of fun poses you can get him in are great. I'm glad they included a pair of like fists instead of just claw hands. Overall, just an amazing figure. Just like the Miles Morales Spider-Man, I cannot put this figure down. I'm always posing it. Sometimes whenever I'm like not even taking pictures, I'll just like walk around with it and just mess around with it like for minutes, like half an hour, just straight playing with this Wolverine figure. I will say that this is even after the pictures I've played with and messed around with certain Wolverine figures like that weren't actually mine, they were friends. This is my favorite Wolverine figure of all time. I love it. Until we get an import, I don't think any Marvel Legends are ever going to be able to top this figure. Well, I think that does conclude my Marvel Legends top 10 list. There are no Build-A-Figures on this list just because they're not, I wouldn't count them as like Marvel Legends 6-inch figures because they're bigger and therefore can't contest with them. But thank you guys all for watching this. I really appreciate the love you guys have given me on certain videos. Make sure to check out my Instagram, @FinnAiden on Instagram. I do a lot of ACBA stuff there, tons of posing, tons of pictures, all that stuff. Well, I'll catch you guys later. Keep on posing.